That's coming in right now, viewers. The president's rule has been imposed in Manipur. That's the big breaking news that we're getting right now. In fact, this comes after the resignation of the chief minister and BJP's failure to find a chief ministerial replacement. The biggest question mark for the BJP was to find the name of a candidate that could have the consensus of the rebel leaders and also all its allies, but clearly the BJP has failed to do so. And now what we're looking at is that the president rule has been imposed in Manipur for the next 6 months. In fact, Sambit Patra of the BJP was holding multiple meetings with BJP leaders, but the meetings failed to yield any result. In fact, the state has no full-time chief minister. The deadline as well for convening the assembly session within 6 months ended on Wednesday, that is February 12, after which even the governor today had a meeting with security officials, with top-level officials trying to get an understanding of the security deployment across the state. Lots of developments happened today, even at Raj Bhavan in Manipur. And after that, a decision has now been taken to impose the president's rule in Manipur. We're learning that this is going to be in place for the next 6 months. Of course, ever since the conflict began, there had been questions about Biren Singh, his competence, his ability to control the situation in Manipur. Initially, it was the Congress, it was the opposition that continued to demand his resignation. Slowly, the chorus started growing within the own party, within BJP itself. Several leaders stayed absent from the meetings as well, and this again prompted the BJP to show Biren Singh the exit. And after that, the political crisis has continued to deepen, with the BJP struggling to find a replacement for Biren Singh. After that, the deadline also ended on February 12 of convening the assembly session within 6 months, which means that the stage was all set for the president rule implementation. In fact, my colleague Priyank joins us on the broadcast to get us more details on this. Priyank, big news that's coming in right now. President's rule imposed in the state of Manipur.
Yeah, certainly that's certainly major development which is happening in this particular case, where after the resignation of Biren Singh, the chief minister, who has been on the eye of all the storm, but finally resigned few days back, and later to that, it was speculation that the BJP as a party could have appointed another chief minister of the state. But that did not happen. And after a series of consultations, the BJP was certainly, favoring that there should be suspended animation in the state of Manipur, because they would have got 60 more days of time period to finally decide that who can be the next chief minister, while the BJP can still hold the power. But it appears that the governor has certainly taken stock of the situation. All the concerned parties have already spoken to the governor as well. And finally, the president rule has been imposed in the state of Manipur. From now onwards, it's going to be very important, because MLAs from both the tribes were not sitting together, they were not coming into consensus, and the demand of removing Biren Singh was gradually developing into demand of finally a separate administration by the members of the Haley committee. So this is certainly not was in the favor of India as one nation. At this moment, president rule being imposed in Manipur is certainly a major development.
All right. Also, Priyanka, a quick follow-up question there. Of course, the big developments that have happened over the past few days, over the weekend, Biren Singh resigned. After that, we saw how the BJP was, of course, struggling, jostling around to ensure that they find a candidate that is acceptable to all communities, all leaders across the board. They failed to do that. The deadline ended. The governor today had a... What exactly was on agenda? What did the governor discuss? And what's going to be the way forward in Manipur for the next 6 months?
For the next 6 months, it is going to be very important, because the Assam Rifle and the paramilitary forces will be having more coordinated power, because so far what security establishment has been suggesting it to me personally, that there was no coordination which is happening in between all the stakeholders. So at this moment, as we are watching that there have been series of attempt by the state government to also bring back all those militants on the table, and they should remove their hand, they should keep their hand on, away from them, which was not happening. So, certainly, the removal of the state administration and president rule being imposed, and the idea of having an immediate suspension of the assembly was not something which could have brought back this kind of major use of ammunition by the local militia. So certainly that's a major development which is happening where the president rule has been imposed here in Manipur.
Absolutely, Priyanka. Now, people, of course, will be hoping that with the president's rule coming in and coordinated efforts, as we have seen today as well with the meetings that's happening, hopefully the situation gets better. There's better coordination between the security agencies and eventually that trickles down into some sort of a peace on ground as well. Really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast, getting us updates about this big breaking news that's coming in right now. Viewers, the president's rule that has been imposed in Manipur. We'll, of course, keep a close eye on that. But meanwhile,